But I've used Twitter since 2008. My usage habits have changed a lot. At a certain point, I used it like a diary. It was just like, this is what I'm thinking today. This is what I'm reading today. This is what I'm doing today. I did it from a sort of personal branding point of view and thought leadership.
Right.
And again, that was within a small community, and it didn't matter that I didn't have 1 million people listening to me. The 2,000 people that were listening to me were engaging with me. I haven't had engagement on Twitter for a long time. It used to be, and I don't know how you feel, but I used to send a tweet to my 2,000 followers, and I'd get maybe 20 likes. And
Yeah.
recently, I get zip. I get absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. I just do it out of habit, kind of.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
I do it for just to get some links out there, and maybe people discover it, and maybe people. And there are certain people who will still read them and click and whatever else. But in terms of engagement, I get a lot less engagement than I used to on Twitter. It's changed, and a lot of people have moved on. And we've talked about the fact that from a professional point of view, Twitter used to be part of my professional community. There were people that I engaged with who we would discuss blogs and articles and trends and various things on Twitter, and we don't do that on Twitter anymore. We do it on LinkedIn. There's certain things I used to put on Twitter that I now put on Instagram. There's certain things on Twitter that I now put on
Yeah.
Facebook,
You get a lot more engagement from.
and I get a lot more engagement.
Lot more.
Absolutely. And maybe that's just the algorithm. That there's been some talk about the algorithm. I'm not sure whether it's as big brother as people say it is. Has changed the game. It was game changing and disruptive in the sense that celebrities and influencers no longer need PR agencies. It used to be that you'd sit behind a bunch of minders, and if you wanted to say something to your fans, you would have a PR agency that would write a press release for you, and you would distribute that out to the world. And there would be a middleman between you and your fan base or your audience. And Twitter changed the game in that sense, in that if you're a Hollywood actor or a Formula One driver, you can now talk directly to your audience with no filter, without a PR person, without it, for better or worse. That's been a game changer to take out the middleman, to take out the PR layer, the spin layer, and have politicians and celebrities and influencers and whatever these people talk directly to their audience with no filter. But from my point of view, I don't believe that Elon Musk, as the richest man in the world with 80 million followers, can possibly understand. Twitter, I was on it early, so early that a certain technology columnist for The Guardian started following me. I was on it early, and actually I was an advocate for it. I was an evangelist for Twitter. You know, when I was working in the yacht racing business and I had my yacht racing sailing blog, I was telling sailors and professional yacht racing teams that they needed to have a Twitter account, because it was a way that they could talk directly to their fans. They could build a fan base, they could talk to their fan base, they could engage with their fan base, they could give their sponsors more added value that their sponsors weren't necessarily getting before social media. So within certain industries, it's been an amazing thing. And we've talked about things like Arab Spring and countries where social media and social networks shine a light on, as they say, sunlight is the best disinfectant, and it's shined a light on corruption and things that otherwise might not have made it to mainstream media, might not have made it into newspapers controlled by the government. And certain stories have appeared, you know, because of social networks and social media, that because of the freedom of speech allowed by social media and social networks.